Well, let's rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, precisely.
Precisely.
I love that word.
Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Rapid Strike, and they have a new album called Rapid Strike, which is released on March 26th via Wormholedeath Records. Right now I'm being joined by, and I didn't ask you how to say your name, I just kind of asked you if you would be okay with being called Harvey. How do I say your name?
It's Hrvoje Madiraca, but on this matter, Harvey is cool. That sounds cool. I'm on board with it, mate. So yeah,
Beautiful.
You just renamed me for this purpose, so I'm on board, and it's cool. So I'm Harvey Madiraca for next half an hour, right? Yeah,
Whoa.
so cool.
Harvey Madeira. So you know Madeira, the
Madiraca. But if you cannot, well, just call me whatever. I'm a guitarist, composer, and songwriter for Rapid Strike, and that's cool.
And that's cool.
Harvey, it is.
Beautiful. All right. Well, welcome to the show, my good man.
Well, thanks a lot. It's an honor to be here, and shout out from Croatia towards you and to all of your listeners. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to be here. Thanks a lot.
It is. It's a pleasure to have you. To be honest, I'm trying to think, have I had a band on from Croatia? And I don't think I have. So if I have, I'm sorry. And that band is listening in right now, and they're upset. They're having a temper tantrum. But for you right now, this is cool.
Yeah, well, if it is and we're the first, well, it's nice to be first, and if we're not, cool again, right?
Well,
yeah.
When you strike, you got to have a rapid strike, baby.
Precisely.
Precisely. You have to strike with precision, then you will have struck precisely.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, I guess one of the biggest pieces of news is that first email I got was that you guys were being signed to Wormholedeath, and then I received subsequent emails with them promoting you, and then obviously I wrote to Wormholedeath and I said, let's get these bad boys on the show. So take us through that, through getting signed with Wormholedeath. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so basically we were wrapping up our album last year, and we were looking for a label, and well, Wormholedeath has quite a good reputation, so we came into contact with Mr. Carlo Bellotti. He's the head of the Wormholedeath Records, and he liked the material, and we sort of, it was a no-brainer, They're awesome, it's a pleasure working with them, and we signed right away. They're extremely fair. It was like a banger, man, I like your stuff, I like your company. Let's talk. We had a bit of an email chat, a bit of a Skype conference as well, and we just clicked.
Okay.
And that was voila.
Wow.
You need to strike rapidly, right?
you have to strike rapidly, baby. You got to do it.
Yeah. You
got to shout it out, or it's just a lie in the night of the unholy. I mean, it'll be a sweet terror sailing on, but betrayal is such a sin when I'm losing you here in the Viper's Nest.
Oh man, that's awesome,
Thank you.
You got a real talent for this stuff. Yeah, I must admit. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Oh.
I totally am.
Well, thank you, sir. Speaking of the tracks that I just mentioned, this record, self-titled Rapid Strike, did you guys record the album and you had it and it was ready to go when you started shopping, or how did this album come to be? And with regard to that, what is this album about? Does it have a theme?
Well, so there are two questions there. Okay, so let me start by answering the first, which is it wasn't such a rapid strike because it was recorded. The recordings have begun in 2013, to believe it or not.
Wow.
And they have yeah. And
wow.
we had and they've ended in 2020. As I said, last year we wrapped it up. We had basically, we were searching for a new direction, new style, sort of a line-off problems as well. Stuff happens, but it's fine. And but what is important is that we're more than pleased with the final outcome. I mean, the album is awesome, in my opinion. I'm subjective totally, but that's fine. And as for the second part of your question, sorry, which was it? Does it have a theme?
Yeah.
Well, the theme is just go back to the basics of what makes rock and metal. Just if I can explain it more properly, just make a cool record. That was how rock and metal have started. Don't overcomplicate. Don't just make what you love to do and do it properly. Just get on with your stuff. Just put on some great riffs, some great vocals, some great drum patterns. You know what I mean? Just the theme is basically do not overcomplicate, trust in what you believe, and live your life without fear or regret or anything. Just bang it, baby, if you know what I mean. It's just it's just I like to do. Let's make a rocking rock album, if you know what I mean. That there's not a big philosophy in there. No, it isn't a soul-searching record. No, it's just make a cool, awesome record. That's it. That was the mission statement from the start, from the get-go.
Okay, that's a really good mission statement.
Yeah, well, that's how it all started. I mean, somebody basically had an amp, right? A guitar amp, back in the 50s, and it probably somebody probably threw it down a van or something, or from a hotel room, and then it started distorting, right? It went into an overdrive, and everybody was like, "You cannot play like this."
Exactly.
And
Devil's
the guitar
music.
player was like, the guitar player was probably like, "Well, I don't have a spare one, right?"
Right.
And then he just plugged it in, and the audiences went, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
Yeah.
So, no need to overcomplicate. Just get back to the basics and do the best songs as you can. Do it properly. Bang on, smash. Make a great record.
I know. Just think about how many YouTube videos there are right now of people comparing distortions. Go back to 1950, you had one distortion, and it was the broken amp.
Yeah. That's quite amazing, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great story. Rock and metal, it's such a interesting piece of they share such interesting piece of history. I mean, everything good that happens in rock or metal just comes by a mistake, an accident. Basically distorted vocals. Who could have ever thought about like growling vocals? It's not singing, but it is. I mean, I don't know who did it first, but can you imagine like the sound technician at the recording studio hearing that shit for the first time? It was probably like, what is this? What's this guy about? But it just started being into normal because people liked it, and it's cool. It's not classical music where you need to overanalyze, overthink. You just need to do your stuff and trust in what you're doing. That's just it.
I wanted to get my information right, so I'm searching the web right now because we're not too far off on that. The actual first distortion sound was a broken circuit, but it was in a mixing board. So when the audio was going through the circuit, in the mixing board, it came through distorted, and somebody went, "Man, that's great." So people went to this recording studio actually to use a piece of broken equipment because it was broken in a musical way, which is kind of funny. And then... And then
that's awesome.
Yeah, and back then you basically had like a Gibson amplifier or a Fender amplifier. There was obviously some others, but
and they were all custom made, handmade. They were extremely costly. It wasn't like today. That you can just you can just go to the shop, and there is a shop every 200 meters away. And basically, at those times, you couldn't even replace a pickup, a guitar pickup. It was a major problem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Continue, please.
Yeah, no, seriously. And then Gibson caught a hold of this whole broken circuit thing, so they created a pedal that would simulate a broken circuit, which then Keith Richards used on the song Satisfaction. Called the Maestro FZ-1 Fuzz-Tone. So that is the very first distortion pedal, and it is, in fact, designed after a broken circuit.
Oh my God! Yeah, well, that's an interesting piece of history. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Like that's major. You know.
Right here on the Rock and Roll Podcast.
Good job at finding that. Yeah, it is an exclusive. Yeah, definitely.
It is an exclusive. Speaking of other exclusives, let's go back to talking about Rapid Strike. So I guess maybe take us. So you mentioned some lineup changes. I'm on the website right now, and it looks like 2 guitar players and a vocalist, and the vocalist is English from what I see in the bio. So I guess my question is, how the current recording that we have, how did that come to be? Who played the drums? Who played the bass?
Okay, so the drums were played by Daniel Stoyan, and he's a part of the current lineup. Yeah, so it's solidified now. The bass was played mostly by me, along with my friend Dan Brkic. And the guitars were done by me and Ante Pupacic-Pupi. That's also part of the current lineup. And the lineup changes, we were basically, it wasn't much of a lineup change, as we were searching for a proper vocalist to add their stuff. You know, we were searching for they were all excellent singers, but they weren't exactly what we were looking for, to be precise. And so we stumbled upon Bexy James via an audition, and that's a great story. And I mean, basically we were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And I was like, okay, I like Thin Lizzy. I need someone who has that kind of a bluesy, melodic voice, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But can also belt it out properly. And then I sent a tape to some people, and it was basically like, can you cover Still in Love With You by Thin Lizzy? I don't know if you know that song. It's like a ballad. It's a great song. I love it. And damn, she nailed it. This girl from England, from the UK, she nailed it. And then I asked her to book a holiday to get to us to Croatia, and she recorded the vocals for the album. And she's awesome, and she's also part of the lineup now. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Now, these music videos, we got a couple of singles, a couple of music videos, Just a Lie and Shout It Out. Yeah, I guess just take us through these. Did you guys do these in the middle of the pandemic? How did you guys come up with these music videos?
Okay, so the first one, Just a Lie, was recorded when Bexy was recording her vocal lines back in 2016, as she is the singer on that. Yeah, she's the singer on that song. And for the second one, as for the Shout It Out, it was recorded during our Japanese tour way back in 2013 with our dance singer Tanya Melanie Hrvoje. Mm-hmm. So there are 2 different singers on those 2 different singles. And basically, about those 2 songs, I picked them to be singles because in my opinion, they represent us properly. I mean, in Just a Lie, you hear a more melodic, heavy rock, kind of stuff with twin guitar lines harmonizing in the chorus and a bit of acoustic stuff. So it's a bit of that's like one part of us, and Shout It Out is more like heavy trash, a bit tougher, a bit heavier side of us, and that concises the whole album. You have a ballad, you have even 2 ballads on the album, you have more rock leaning tracks like Just a Lie. You have more trash leaning tracks. So it's a mix, but they as a whole represent, yeah, the album as a whole. If that makes sense to you,
it does. Now
they present the album properly.
Good,
in my opinion.
Yes. Hold on. Slažem se.
Agreed upon.
Slažem s tobom.
Yeah, well, can you pronounce now my name? You're getting pretty good at Croatian. So can you rename me once again to my original name?
Hvala. Hrvoje.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, back to being Hrvoje then.
Yeah. Draga mi je Hrvoje.
Well, it's pleasure speaking with you too, mate.
Okay, beautiful. Now, what was I going to ask? Oh yeah, I was going to ask this music video for Just a Lie. There's like some studio footage. There's some dancers. Cool music video.
Thanks a lot.
Something.
And there's, sorry.
I was going to say something about a bass player sitting in front of a mixing board pounding away, where you see the strings bending under his fiery might. It just kind of gets me excited. But
yeah, that's damn Burkish for you. He's like, yeah.
How did you guys make this music video? You guys did you like film dancers and filmed yourself in a studio and like brought it together?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, the studio parts were done in 2016 in the studio, obviously.
Yep.
But those girls, they're called Inferno. They're also from the UK, and they've done their parts in 2013 in Croatia. Yeah, so this album has a long history, of making. It does, definitely.
So I guess I'm curious, did you guys, like, was that always a plan, or did you have all this stuff saved on a hard drive somewhere? Or was it like an accident where you're like, man, we have all this stuff on a hard drive, what are we going to do with it? Music video? Or was it, okay.
Yeah, we planned it, but as I said before, we were just looking for a vocalist that, just has that vibe that matches the album. So it took a long time, and life happens. But you won't have to wait so long for the third album. It's already being written, so we need to pick up the pace.
Yeah, that's right. Pick up the pace. Now, you mentioned a new album. What can you tell us about this new album?
You mean the one that is already out, like that was out like a week before, or the third album that I'm writing right now?
The one that you're writing right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, it's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be heavy, definitely.
Okay. But
it will also have some, Jimmy Page kind of stuff, the Earth song. I'm getting all these vibes, I just like to experiment here and there, so it's the sound that we have sort of made on this album is the sound of Rapid Strike.
Okay.
But I'm thoroughly I'm sort of a songwriter who cannot make the same album twice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just me. Okay, so the Rapid Strike will also be guitars, riffs, drums, vocals, but every album will have its own niche, you know what I mean? And that's how I do my stuff. And
okay, because you mentioned heavy, so I'm trying to get a grasp, because heavy to different bands means different things. I would consider that Skid Row's second album was heavier than their first album, but in relation to Cannibal Corpse, they're still not heavy at all. So I guess where on the spectrum of heavy are we? When you say Jimmy Page, I don't consider Led Zeppelin to be heavy at all, but that's maybe my opinion.
Maybe bluesy
and groovy for sure.
Yeah, but he has that kind of a concept, mixing the light and the darkness in the music, you know.
He does.
But yeah, and I mentioned him because I do tend to experiment a bit, you know. But that will be a track or two. I know that will happen because it's already written.
Yeah.
But as for heavy, you're asking me where are we on the spectrum of heavy? So basically, we're like, well, my taste and what I do basically is everything from, I don't know, Fleetwood Mac to Slayer. And everything in between. So from like, you know, 70s rock to thrash metal. So everything in between, yeah, I'm all aboard. I'm writing that stuff. And so if somebody is disappointed, no, we'll never be a death metal band because honestly, I don't have it in me. It's not the way I write. It's not what comes out when I write. But you know, everything like heavy rock, trash. I don't know, maybe even a bit of a punk vibe.
Whoa.
Who knows? I mean, but yeah, it will always be a band that has its roots firmly in the classic. You know, like I do tend that we sound kind of an old school, you know, band, like an 80s band. Maybe it's just me, but I always think that we sound kind of, you know, that decade. I don't know. Who am I to say, but it's...
Have you seen the artwork for the album and the way the logo is done? I was going to ask you if you knew what year it was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's 2021, but it looks rather, yeah. Yeah, you nailed it.
Leather jacket, Les Paul, you know, in the middle of a solo, sunglasses. The band is called Rapid Strike, which is super 1986, 1987. It's all done up like it's 1986, 1987. I mean, I'm not judging. I love the 80s. I'm wearing a Cobra Kai sweater for crying out loud.
Johnny Lawrence is the hero of the story. Johnny Lawrence is the man.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah. We got that out of the way. Boom.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, we're firmly rooted in the classical eras of rock and metal music, basically. So you will not. I don't foresee us getting into modern stuff at all. It's just not me. It's not us. So
yeah,
we're old schoolers, definitely.
Yeah. Do you write music thinking, would Johnny Lawrence listen to this in his car?
Well, when was the last season out? Around New Year?
Yeah.
Last season.
Yeah. Season 3 beginning of this year, yeah.
Yeah. That when I was watching it on the Netflix, that question kind of popped up in my mind. Honestly, yeah.
Boom!
Yeah, Johnny Lawrence, yeah, he's the man.
Good. Why do you like Johnny Lawrence? Isn't he the bad guy?
No, he's not a bad guy. He's a guy who had a bad deal in life. He had a bad sensei, and he had he's a good guy who's trying to make his ends meet, and he's a positive influence for Miguel, right? And he's an inspirational figure. I mean, so he's basically trying to better his life, and his perspective on life has changed so much. And it was awesome seeing him and Daniel finally reconciling in this season. And he's a sort of I like those kind of stories, you know, from zero to hero. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm. It's the title of the next album from Rapid Strike, From Zero to Hero.
Yeah, but isn't it like something? Something comes to mind. Black Sabbath, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, from the Gillan era.
Może bicie.
Yeah. So it's copyrighted then.
Nie znam. How do you say good? In Russian, it's хорошо.
Good.
Dobro.
You mean good?
Dobro. Yeah, you can say
dobro.
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 Jako dobro.
Dobro. Very good. do you say very good? Дуже dobro? No, vrlo dobro. Okay, cool.
Vrlo dobro.
Yeah.
Awesome is izvrsno.
Cool. So we chatted about getting signed to Wormholedeath. We chatted about the Maestro FZ-1 Fuzz-Tone, first distortion pedal ever made. We chatted about Johnny Lawrence and why he's the true hero of Cobra Kai, Never Dies.
Yeah.
Because he's a mentor to Miguel. And we chatted about Just a Lie. We chatted about Shout It Out. We chatted about the album Rapid Strike. We chatted about why the album cover is just a picture of you. We chatted about...
Well, it's. I mean, you know what it was about. It's like we were trying to do some concept art philosophy thing, and I was like, just screw it, just. Yeah, you have pictures, right? And look, mine was like the best one. And yeah, here's the Gibson Les Paul, if you can see it.
Oh man, there's a BC Rich back there.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those, but hey, I was 16 when I bought it, so no, they're nice, they're totally awesome. But I'm a Gibson guy. No, so basically we're like, okay, this looks like, I look like a rock star. That. Well, okay. Album, that's cool. Yeah,
cool.
It's a cool picture. It's nothing to do with ego. It's just a cool picture, and it's like, it's a bit funny in a way. You say it yourself. The sunglasses, the everything, the leather jacket. I mean, the good thing about it is when you see the cover, you know exactly what to expect from us, and I think that's the main point of like artwork, At least that's the way I judge artwork. When I see it, it's the first impression thing. I need to know what this band is about, and that's what artwork ought to provide for me. So it's just my 2 cents for whatever it's worth. So yeah.
Bravo si.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. It's just my opinion on things. You need to strike rapidly, knock them out, baby. Yeah.
That's right.
This is a guitar rhythm band. Cool.
Bing bang boom. Okay. Well then, that concludes all my questions. So I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Again, thanks a lot to you, and I hope we had a great discussion that will, if not for anything else, humor your listeners. And listen, people, stay safe, stay healthy, stay responsible. We'll all get through this pandemic alive and a lot smarter. And when the gigs return, come and check us out. Come check each and every band, because I can honestly tell each and every band is just dying to get on stage, and because it's what we do, man, So stay safe, stay metal, and just, I don't know, stay positive. It's the main thing in life. Life is how you view upon it. So, and the reality is as well what you make of it. So stay positive and stay cool.